Hey, so today I want to talk about something that's really been on my heart, and that is femininity, and really breaking down what is the difference between true and false femininity. And yes, there is a difference. I'm just going to get right into it. I believe that a true feminine woman, the highest form of femininity, the most mature form of femininity, is actually wisdom. When a woman is operating in her fullness, when she is operating in her feminine capacity, she is wise. She is an asset to those who are around her. She is a blessing to her community, to her family, to her husbands, to her children. She is wise. And the reason I say that is the crazy thing about it is that when you look at the wisdom texts, if you look at scriptures or Bible or any of that, wisdom is personified as a woman. I mean, there are so many different passages in the wisdom text where we see wisdom talking, and she is personified as a woman. She is given female traits. And so, what that shows me is that every woman has the capacity and the ability to be wise and to be a blessing and to be an asset to whoever is around her, but she has to be operating in her true God-given femininity. On the flip side, false femininity, false femininity, and it does exist, but false femininity, in my opinion, it's shameful, it is destructive, and it does cause damage. It brings damage not only to you, but it can bring damage to people around you. It can bring damage to men. And so I was actually meditating today, and there were two specific passages that I read that I feel like brought these concepts just right into perfect vision. And I'm going to read them for you. Um, the first passage, some Proverbs. I've been reading that. I love Proverbs. It's been really speaking to me. But it's some Proverbs, and it says, "Wisdom will exalt you when you exalt her truth. She will lead you to honor and favor. When you live your life by her insights, you will be adorned with beauty and grace. And wisdom's glory will wrap itself around you, making you victorious in the race of life." And so, again, what we see here is something about wisdom, something about having that attribute, having that spirit is it brings grace to your life, it brings beauty to your life, it brings victory, it is a blessing to those who are around you. It improves it improves your life, and it improves those who are in your sphere of influence. And so, again, wisdom being personified as a woman, that shows me that we as women have a great ability and a great capacity to be a huge blessing and to bring positive change in our environment. But that's when we are operating in our true God-given femininity. Now, on the flip side, it says something about false femininity, and I think this sums this up perfectly. Okay, here it says, "There is a spirit named foolish, who is boisterous and brash. She's seductive and restless, and there she sits at the gateway to the high places, on her throne overlooking the city. She preaches to all who walk by her who are clueless as to what is happening. 'Come home with me,' she invites those who are easily led astray, saying, 'Illicit sex is the best sex of all. Our secret affair will be sweeter than others.' Little do they know, when they answer her call, that she dwells among the spirits of the dead, and all her guests soon become citizens of hell." And so what we see there about foolishness, which I believe is false femininity, is that she is boisterous, she is seductive, she is undisciplined sexually, she is alluring she's alluring men, she's alluring her prey with her false femininity, come and saying, "Hey, let's have illicit sex, let's just do all these crazy things." She's drawing the men with her femininity, but at the end of their interactions with her, they end up leaving damaged. They end up leaving worse off than before. And I think one of the reasons you can know as a woman if you're operating in false femininity is if what you're doing is it's damaging not only you, but it's damaging men. If you find yourself in and out of chaotic relationships, you find yourself in and out of just chaos, period, drama, love triangles, or just things like that, that's when you know, like, hey, you may be operating in false femininity. And the reason I say false femininity is because I do see that there is a lot of talk of femininity in this space. And so often I see femininity related to a woman's ability to get resources from men, a woman's ability to get things from men, a woman's ability to just level up, get money, get access to wealth. It's rare, if ever, that I see femininity related to a woman's inner quality, her virtue, her grace. You know what I mean? Her being a God-fearing woman, her having faith. I don't ever see femininity related to the intangible qualities that are incredibly important and that are necessary to actually sustain anybody long term. I don't ever see that. So that's what I say false femininity, because I feel like false femininity, it focuses on the outward. It focuses on what you can get from another person, what you can get from another man in particular. But that usually leads to destruction. If you're going in there just thinking about yourself, thinking about what you can extract from somebody, being even narcissistic in your approach, even being sexually undisciplined, and just having no regard for even your body, that leads to destruction. It leads to destruction. And even if you don't believe me, all you have to do is look at the fruit in your life. If you can look at the fruit in your life and say, hey, I'm happy with what I have. I feel like I have peace in my home. I have peace with my relationships. God's presence is with me wherever I go. I'm blessed. I feel peace. Like, okay, that's great. And it's like, great. That's a good thing. But if there's constant drama, there's chaos, relationships, it's like you find yourself in this drama over and over and over again. Your heart's broken, his heart is broken, her heart's broken, and it's just like total and utter chaos, then it's like, okay, then there's probably something off. And so again, I wanted to just talk about this because, as I said, I do recognize that there is a lot of talk of themininity, and I think oftentimes it leaves out the most important qualities of what it truly means to be a feminine woman. The feminine and the masculine they're both attributes of God. God himself, we being made in his image, men and women, like I said, have the capacity, and they both represent unique aspects of God. And so I said, at a core, I feel when you are operating in your true feminine capacity, when you are operating in wisdom. And the best and the surest way to operate in wisdom is to first and foremost have that connection with God, to have that connection with the Almighty, with our first ancestor, because he's the one that created everything. We were made in his image. And I'm like, it's the fear of the Lord that leads to wisdom. It's the fear of God that leads to actually fully starting to have an understanding and knowing, okay, what are the true qualities that I need as a woman? What are the true attributes that are a blessing to people around me, that are a blessing to women, that are a blessing to men, that are a blessing to my family? That's how you actually start to operate in true femininity, is to have that connection back to God. And so, I can say as a woman, my true feminine journey began when I became a Christ follower, and when I recognized my need to see things from a spiritual perspective, not to just focus on, how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, how you do your clothes. That means nothing. A person can be dressed amazingly and look beautiful and lead you down a path to nowhere. But a woman who is full of the Spirit of God, with the Spirit of Christ, who is full of wisdom and can be gracious and can bless your life, that is wisdom. That is femininity. When a woman is operating in her true feminine capacity, she is operating in wisdom, and she is a blessing to those who are around her. So those are my thoughts. But let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear from you. Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section below. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.